Mental health issues can affect you no matter who you are. Think about it. Even celebrities like Robin Williams, Kate Spade, and Anthony Bourdain suffered from mental illness and ultimately committed suicide. According to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the U.S. Close to 45,000 people commit suicide each year. Yes, 45,000, and the rate keeps rising. Today, mental health issues are treatable and help is readily available. You don't have to suffer in silence. On today's show, we'll be talking to individuals who have dedicated themselves to the cause of mental health. They'll provide vital information, practical solutions and tips to maintain your mental health and tools to fight against depression. I'm your host, Robin Young, and this is In Contact.
Be informed, you gotta know what's going on in our community. So together we can make a change, you and me. Yeah, be in contact.
My first guests are young adults, siblings, and business partners. Due to the sisters' struggle with depression and after developing POTS, the two developed the Not Okay app, a digital panic button to get immediate help for people in crisis. Please welcome Hannah and Charles Lucas. Charlie and Hannah, welcome to In Contact. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome. So Hannah, at the age of 15, you were diagnosed with POTS. For those of us that don't know what that is, can you share a little bit about that?
Well, POTS is basically postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, and basically it just causes me to pass out. So when I stand up, the blood will drain from my head and go straight to my feet, and I'll just hit the floor.
Okay, and tell me a little bit more about how that affected your life.
Well, it was devastating because prior to the diagnosis, I didn't know what I had. Before I got my MRI in my brain, the doctor even just sat my parents down and prepared us for the worst, you know. They're like, I don't know what's gonna happen to you, so just be prepared. And then it took 2 to 3 weeks to get back, so you know, those 2 to 3 weeks, I was really just living like every day could be my last, because I really thought it could be. And even after the diagnosis, I still didn't really understand what I had because there's not a lot of research on POTS done, and there's not a lot of POTS doctors for it, so nobody really knows what I have that much, and so it was just really frightening.
Thankfully, we were able to diagnose it. That was a great thing.
Definitely.
So Charlie, tell me what it was like having, you know, your sister experiencing that type of condition. How did that impact your life?
Well, before we actually found out what she had, it was just horrifying because we didn't know what was gonna happen. We didn't know what was happening. We thought she had cancer. Like, it was just horrifying to feel just completely and utterly helpless, not knowing if that day could be Hannah's last day, if she could just like pass out in front of the wrong people, if something bad could just like randomly happen.
And so, go ahead, Hannah.
And actually, when he said pass out in front of the wrong people, like I was passing out so much in school. Like, I even have my own code blue now because of it. And people in my classes, guys specifically, they threatened me of what they would do if they found me passed out and alone. You know, I just lived in fear because of everything.
So how did you deal with that? I mean, I know that must have been a lot to deal with mentally and physically. Did you experience any, you know, forms of depression, anything like that that would kind of, you know, disturb your equilibrium?
Well, I lived in fear. Fear became my norm, you know. It got to the point where I was even afraid to get out of my bed because what if I fell, give myself a concussion? And that fear really made me spiral into a really bad depression and anxiety because I was always anxious of what could happen, and I was sad. I was super depressed because of all the stuff that I couldn't do anymore and even what could happen to me.
So, to deal with that depression, you all came up with a really creative and awesome application called Not Okay app. Can you all talk about that app and how did you all come up with the idea for the app?
Well, because of my depression and my anxiety, it got to the point where I developed eating disorders, I self-harmed, and I even had a suicide attempt. And my mom walked in on me that night. She saw what was happening, and in the end, she just held me, and we were both crying. And in that moment, I wished more than anything that I had an app where I could just press a button and instantly alert my friends and family that I was not okay, whether physically or mentally.
Can you talk a little bit more about the app as well, Charlie?
Well, the Not Okay app is essentially a panic button that you can download on your phone that when you actually need help, like when you're having an anxiety attack, when you're having a panic attack, like when you're feeling depressed, when you just need emotional support, you can press the button and it texts your pre-selected up to 5 closest contacts that says, "Hey, I'm not okay. Come call me, text me, or come check up on me," along with your current GPS location and directions.
That is absolutely amazing. How did you all, really come up with the idea? I know that you said that after, you experienced a suicide attempt, you thought, wow, I need to be able to contact someone or have someone contact me. But the concept is so unique. Can you talk to me a little bit about the concept?
Well, everyone's always on their phones, I bring my phone everywhere with me. It's basically like a part of me. My mom's gonna ground me after this, but and I thought, well, I need something that I could always take with me, something that's not cumbersome. And I didn't want one of those life alarming.
Yeah, the life alert necklaces.
Yeah, I didn't want one of those necklaces because I didn't want to feel old. I mean, I hate saying it like that.
Right.
And I didn't want the jewelry on me. And so I thought, well, what about an app? It's cheap, quick to download. It's always with you. So.
And so you all created this app. Where is it hosted on? Apple, or can you tell me a little bit about where the app is located and how people can gain access to it?
Well, the Not Okay app is available on Android and Apple.
We don't discriminate against Androids.
Okay, keep going.
And you could find out more about it at on our website, notokayapp.com, or at our Instagram, and Twitter,
Facebook, Snapchat.
So
Facebook.
So tell me the handles one more time, please.
Someone's gonna sue you because of this.
Not Okay app.
Not Okay app. And it's hosted by Android as well as the iPhone. Now, how much is this app? Can you tell me a little bit about the pricing?
Sadly, it isn't free. It is $1.99 a month because Apple and Android make us use this really, really annoying texting service, and it isn't cheap. So if we didn't charge, we would sort of go bankrupt.
However, this app is a whole lot cheaper than other devices. Isn't that right?
Yes.
It definitely is. And when it comes down to it, isn't your life worth so much more?
Absolutely.
I mean, but we have read all of the reviews, received all of the feedback on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and Facebook, and we hear people. So currently we are working to set up a nonprofit called Bee and Bug to fund and support the app so that we can eventually make it free so that people don't have to pay for this service, because we do understand that payment can be an issue for some people. So we're trying to make it accessible to all.
So Charlie, where can we learn more about the app?
You could find out more about us at notokayapp.com.
And our handles on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat are at notokayapp.com. Or just at notokayapp, not the .com.
Thank you, Hannah and Charlie, for being here.